You know, I think we all know that just because the children are finally grown and out of the house, it doesn't mean that your job as a mother is over. Our next guest, Zenith Gross, says that mothering never ends. It just has different stages. And we'd like to hear how you have maintained a closeness with your adult children. And you can share anything you want that has to do with mothering, really. So would you give us a call? How are you, Zenith?
Oh, great.
This comes from experience?
You bet.
What was your experience?
My experience was marvelous and difficult, as most mothers' experience was. You raise children, as you know, Eileen, not easily. There's lots of disappointments and sorrows and conflicts along the way, but most of the mothers I interviewed for the book would do it all over again and maybe even have more kids.
And mothers have this built-in ability to kind of forget the bad, wanting so much to focus on the good in their children. Don't you? Did you find that?
Oh, yes, indeed. And sometimes, really, it's not such a good idea because they're shoveling a lot of things under the rug.
And when they crop up again, the hurt is all almost brand new, isn't it?
Yes, they need to work it out and not shovel things under the rug and try to hang on to what's real between the two of them.
Do you find that mothers, once children are grown and out of the house, mothers are almost afraid to confront as they once did when children were smaller because they feel there might be this split that never ends?
Yes, of course. They have to do a whole new thing. The balance has shifted. You know, you're not getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning anymore with the bottle, and that was a role mothers were pretty comfortable with. But now it's that 2 o'clock in the morning crisis phone call.
Yep.
I lost my job. I'm pregnant. My lover just walked out on me. And the crisis is different than in the days when you were in control.
Well, that's the issue, too. And don't kids kind of give you the message, tell me what I want to hear, don't tell me too much? I mean, it really is tough to know where to draw the line. How have you found it?
It's very tough. Well, it's very tough to know, and the only way you can do it is by trying to stay tuned into where they are in their lives at this moment. We have to remember that women who have grown kids grew up in one period of time and the kids grew up in another, and we're trying to reach each other over this great big watershed of change in the world and in us and in our times.
Are you talking about a change in values?
I'm talking about change in lifestyle, primarily. Women who grew up to think divorce was the worst word in the whole world now have kids who are divorced or kids who are living together. Lifestyle differences turned out to be one of the key difficulties, one of the key things in parents and kids, mothers and kids trying to come back
together. And do you find
again.
that when a mother has this difficulty in understanding a difference in lifestyle that that's all she can think about?
She gets a little obsessed with it sometimes, no question about it. Some mothers do. Things like the child choosing a wrong partner or a partner the mother doesn't think is appropriate. For example, the child understands that the mother has certain value system about the choice of mates and almost rebelliously goes and chooses someone who doesn't fit what the mother's expectations and dreams had been. After all, when that little baby's laying there in the bassinet, the mother's mind's already leaping ahead. I can see her coming down the staircase in her wedding dress, you know.
I'm living this.
Are you?
I have a 6-month-old, so I'm doing this.
Oh, so you're doing this.
Yeah.
Is it a boy or a girl?
It's a little boy, but you see, I also have adult children, so I know all the mistakes
you know
I made.
what's going to happen.
I'm still repeating them. I think you do that.
We
It's
all do.
nature, isn't it?
Sure.
Let's take a call. Good morning. You're on Good Day. Love to hear your experience.
Yes, well, since I've moved out of the house, got married, and have my own kids, I found that I got closer to my mother.
Yeah, that's, I think, true. Why do you think it's true for you?
I don't know.
Because you understood what she was all about and what she'd gone through?
Yeah.
Do you think it gave you a better understanding of what her background was when she came to mother you?
Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it? Do you have more respect for her now?
Yeah, a lot more.
That's wonderful. It doesn't always happen that way, you know.
I know.
Yeah, but you're grateful that it did?
Yeah.
I know. I am, too. I think the minute I became a mother, I just saw my mother in a whole different light.
Yeah. You saw her more as a person, really, who had gone through all these things, rather than just being my mother, sort of the furniture.
Did you find that for the mothers you talked to was very comforting, especially as daughters and mothers seem to pull away during the 17 to 21 year age group?
It was indeed comforting, and it happens with sons too. We shouldn't focus too much that phenomenon is only possible with daughters. It happens with sons too. When they go out in the big world and find out what it takes to keep a family together, to keep a roof over their head, they begin to look at their mothers in a different way also. And so it's not just daughters.
It's good. It does come come around full
It
circle.
does.
But
It
not
does.
for everyone today.
No,
So there are a
no.
lot of families that really are split. Let's take a call. Good morning. You're on Good Day.
Good morning.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, thanks. And you?
Very good. I'm calling because I am an adult child. I'm 23 years old, and I have two sisters who are 29 and 31, and we all live in the same neighborhood as our mother. And we always go up there for Sunday dinners. We never make our own Sunday dinners because we're always up there. I'm up there almost every single day. I'm married, and I have a child of my own. And it's very strange that you're talking about this because it fits our family to a T. It's like we can't do anything without our mother's opinion or advice, or it enters into everything that we do.
What's your mom's name?
Why?
Well, because I think she'd like to know it's you calling.
Oh, okay, Gigi.
What, Phoebe?
Gigi. Josephine.
Gigi.
Yeah.
Gigi. What do you think it is that makes you respect her so much that you want her opinion?
Because she's always right.
But she doesn't make it seem that she thinks she's always right, I'll bet.
Yes, she does.
Oh, and she gets away with that? I've been trying that for years. It doesn't work.
Doesn't usually work.
Well, I think she's lucky, but I know you must feel very lucky, too.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, you'd miss those Sunday gatherings and those days with her, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but very likely, yes.
Yeah, my mom's real sick right now, and this is kind of almost a real difficult conversation for me to have because I miss
sure
her
it
so
is.
much.
Of
She's far
course.
away, and you feel kind of helpless when
You do.
you can't
when
be there.
you can't be there.
Yeah,
Yeah. There
so-
is a chapter in my book about these kinds of crises that happen between when the child is ill or the mother's ill or there's an accident or something like that. When that happens, Eileen, and I can see it in your eyes
Oh.
because there's some tears here, some real old, long-time history comes into play, and the most primitive thing happens. The bond just tightens up as though you had just been born. It's something that happens, you know, the bond gets kind of slack. You're off here with your career. She's doing whatever she's doing. But when there's this kind of a crisis, there is a return to the closest bond. It evokes what came at the beginning.
Yeah, it's interesting for families. I think there's a blessing and a curse in being close. The blessing is that you've got all of this coming into your life and you're so full. But the curse, in a way, is that you really hurt when you miss and lose someone.
But to love is to risk.
Well.
You don't want to have a life without that kind of risk. It's pretty sterile. It's
Yeah,
pretty empty.
I agree.
And this
Totally.
sort of love that's making your eyes fill with tears now when you think about your mother being ill is something that does, though, enrich your life. Wouldn't it be awful if you were in a situation where you said to me, you know, Zenith, I don't really care all that much. I mean, I care, but I don't really care all that much.
You find that today in families where,
Yes.
and I think people basically do care, but they don't know how to.
They don't know how to
Get it-
express it.
yeah.
They don't know how to, because as one mother said, whom I interviewed for the book, she said, well, you know, what I mostly was saying to my kids was, brush your teeth, it's time for school, let's go to music lessons, come on, daddy's coming home, let's get supper on the table, it's your turn to do the dishes. And she said, in that, you don't get a chance to say very often, boy, am I glad you're my daughter,
Oh,
or
yeah.
am I glad you're my son,
Oh,
or
yeah.
you have given me a great deal in my life. And then maybe that's one of the things we should learn before it's too late, to really be able to say, actually say it right out, you know, you drive me crazy, Mom, but you're a really neat lady.
I agree. You know, those
And
busy full days when
so
you teach and you don't even know you're teaching. I mean, it's really
Exactly,
amazing, isn't it? Let's
it
take
is.
another call, Zenith.
Okay.
Good morning. You're on Good Day.
Good morning. First
Hi.
of all, I want to say that I've got the greatest mother in the world,
Oh, good for you.
and I'm one of 7 children. I've got 2 children of my own, and I've come over the years to realize that not only did I think my mother was the smartest woman in my entire life that I've ever met, but she just gets smarter and smarter. She knows when to offer advice. She knows when not to. I'm still dropping bombs on her in crisis here and there, and I'm one of 7, and we've all put her through a lot, you know, throughout our lifetimes. And I just got finished saying to her a couple of weeks ago, Ma, I'm so sorry you've got to deal with this. One of my sisters was having a problem. She said, Eileen, don't worry about it. I'll be okay. And it kind of made me feel that I'd be okay, too, even though it wasn't me directly that she had to deal with in a certain crisis. But she just knew. I mean, she's so smart. I don't know if she raised 7. She had sisters that raised 6 and one raised 8. With the knowledge and experience, I don't know where she got it from, but she just knows how to use it properly and I just wish I could be more like her.
Yeah, well, you know, you probably really are a lot like her, and you probably were born with the same knowledge that she had, just because you're a woman. I think women come into this world with great gifts. We were talking about this morning, and often we read too many things that tell us we don't know what we really know.
Oh, we really know.
And I'll bet you she thinks her mother got smarter as she got older.
Well, it's that old joke, Mark Twain. You know, when I left home at 17, my old man didn't know a thing, and when I came back at 21, he had gotten so smart in the meantime. It's that she's come to appreciate and understand through her own life experiences what her mother has learned along the way, and to really appreciate that.
Let's take another call, Zenith. Good morning. You're on Good Day.
Good morning.
Hi.
Hi. I'd just like to come in on the program to say how the mother feels when she has 3 daughters, and you finally, you know, they say your mum's always smart and mum always does the right thing for us. And I want to speak on, and I'm sure most of the mothers know what the feeling is like, is when the recognition comes for all the hard work that you do put in for the girls. And I have 3 daughters. One is 24, 26, and 29. And we're scattered, Los Angeles, New England, and South Carolina. And we are so close that we might as well be living next door to one another.
Isn't that nice?
And in fact, one of my daughters, even this morning, I had a bereavement of my closest friend that I've known since I was 2 years old in London, England. And my oldest daughter sent me a sympathy card this morning that it just touched me. And your program this morning, it was just uncanny. And I know what the mothers are feeling on this. And a close bond is really very wonderful. I mean, you can be a mother, and you can also be a friend. And I think if you just keep it like that, you can have a wonderful relationship, and you always have your girls' confidence.
I'm sorry for the loss of your friend, but I'm also very happy that you have these 3 wonderful daughters and you feel so full and that you shared it with us. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Can you give, just in closing, Zenith, a word to mothers that might right now be feeling, I'll never be close to my child, they're going through this rebellious stage?
Yes, I can. One is to just hang in there. Times change, the child matures. Give a lot of credit to time to help things. And secondly, keep the lines of communication open as best you can. Don't allow long silences, long separations. Pick up the phone. If it's really their turn and they don't do it, you do it.
That's right.
Just don't let it go too
Don't
long.
get hung up on little petty things, right?
No, not at all.
So nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you,
you inspired
Eileen.
a lovely
Thank
sharing
you.
with the audience.
And I hope your mom will be okay.
I appreciate it.
I hope she
Thank
will.
you very much.
Yes,
we
you're
all
welcome,
do.
I'm
Thanks,
sure.
Zenith. Let me show your book. And you thought it was all over. Mothers and their adult children. If you're having trouble or you're just feeling good, this is a nice book. Thank you, Zenith.